Sorry, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I was late due to trying to get things. I went to jump on and my camera's not working. It is now. And my microphone then decided not to work. Is now. So I've got it all sorted, thank God. Just grabbing my earphones to put them on. I know I'm only small. I don't care. I've said this right from the start. We as YouTubers have a duty of care. The minute you have 1 subscriber, 2 subscribers, 5,000 subscribers. Hi Daisy, how are you, sweetheart? Thanks for joining. This, of course, is about what's going on. And as I was just saying, which I will say again, I'm not a big channel. I'm not monetized. I don't care. I have only 200 subscribers. But whether you have 1 subscriber, 2,000 subscribers, 2 million subscribers, which I have said even before I started my channel, we as people that are in public, that put ourselves out there, we have a duty of care, whether we choose to believe it or not. We all have a duty of care to look after not only our subscribers, but people who view, the victims we talk about, the cases we put out, how we put them out, what we say about them. We owe that to them. That is why we got into true crime. Well, I did anyway. For the victims, for their families, to give them a voice. Not for what you want, not for what you feel, not for you to make money off, not for you to find every little way to sell something about that case. Hence why I originally said when I started my channel that I was not going to be a channel that keeps going over the same case day after day after day after day after day. It becomes monotonous, and sadly, the victims and the case get drowned out by the white noise. I'm not having to go at anybody that does that. I personally do not want to do that, because why that's happening, the thousands of other cases are being neglected. Yet we all want to put down mainstream media for not covering all these other cases that don't have a voice. That also needs to change, I feel. But getting back to what Sav Girl did, or has done, this beautiful little boy up on the stream, and by the way, Daisy, I am good. Thank you, love, for asking. Better now. I've been catching up on finances over the last few months and not being able to get out and earn money, and that hasn't done me the world of good. But needless to say, I've got to take work where I can get it and get back on my feet. But besides that, I mean, this isn't about me anyway. So getting back to this, yes, Daisy, Gannon's Law, 100%. Look, I am a person, and I will say this, I do look at autopsies. I do virtual autopsies. I've been in funeral homes. That is for me to learn. Has nothing to do, I would never, put it on my channel. Never. Would never describe it on my channel. But here's my issue. If you say you want to learn off it like she claims, Sav Girl claims, then if you can't learn from the autopsy report itself and the diagrams that are written on there, looking at the pictures is not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. Understanding that autopsy report is the most valuable thing out of the whole lot. And it has diagrams on there. It explains everything. You don't need to look at, at the photos. If it was my child, my mother, my nephew, who is no longer with me, I would be outraged. I take my hat off to Landon. She answered this with such grace and elegance and dignity. 100%. The fact that Sav Girl keeps doubling down, tripling down, whatever, blows my mind. I don't think that woman has empathy for anybody. I don't believe she cares about any of these cases. I don't care what anybody says. I'm big enough to take her on. I'm big enough to take anybody on that wants to have a go at me. Good for them, but if you stand behind that, then you don't stand for the victims. And you can't tell me you do. To me, that's as equal as robbing his grave. I'm sorry. I am just sick from it. My heart is broken for the parents. My heart is broken for Gannon. I just don't. I don't see the difference between her and she's close to the woman that. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not even going to go there. What do you think, Daisy? Because I take it you've taken notice of it. And that's another thing I want to say. If we all don't speak out about it, if we're all too shy and too scared to speak out about it, things will never change. None of us will ever be taken seriously. And you can see why. I'm sorry. It's like people get involved in these cases and it's like it's their case. You're not allowed to touch it. You know, like Summer Wells. Summer Wells has been drowned out by all the white noise of what Don and Candace are doing and where they're going, what they're doing now and what are they up to. We know their track record. I don't care what they're doing. What I care about is what happened to Summer. What I cared about was what happened to Gannon. We all know, most of us sat in tears watching that court case, listening to the ramblings of that woman that I refuse to say her name. I've been enraged. I've gotten the steam off me, as you should too. It's between her and God now. I won't bash her, don't and didn't care for her, but yeah. I am saying something because I believe we need to change, all of us. I believe as YouTubers, like I said, we need to raise the bar. If you want to be taken seriously, then start having respect for the viewers that are viewing you. Start realizing that what you say is going to affect the people in chat, how you act, how you know, if somebody says something wrong, you don't attack them for it. If they have a different opinion from you, and this is going to go towards a long way here, this leads into all this, that hang on, I'll just change this so you can see me, love. Oh, There I am. No, I don't believe so either. I 100% agree with you. I don't believe she's capable of that either, which is what I said originally. Unfortunately, what I've seen over the years of watching YouTube before I ever started a channel was that the minute people make it or start making money out of it, that, I don't know, fame goes to their head, I think. Common sense goes out the window. The values they held have to be the same, which says a lot about her. Personally, I don't want to crucify her, but I do believe she owes the family a huge apology and a public one. Hi on the mic. How are you, sweater? Thanks for joining me. I just, and like I said, it kind of steps into everything else, that we all need to stand up and say something when somebody's doing the wrong thing. Otherwise, it will continue to happen and change will never happen. And to, of course, YouTube keep putting more terms and conditions on us all. But we do owe, as I was saying, we owe a duty of care to everybody that watches us. You don't know what that person's thinking or feeling. I mean, these people that attack other creators, and put them down and all the rest of it, then it turns into real life, is dangerous. Not only that, you have people watching you that look up to you. You don't know what their state of mind is, what you could trigger for them to go and do something. And God, I hope it never happens. But somebody could take care of something for you. I would never live with myself. Like I said, I don't want anything to happen to Sav Girl, but it should never have been done. And I don't believe the excuse of, well, it was science for science. I wanted to learn from it. As a person that looks at autopsies, not the pictures, I do virtual autopsies and that. However, that's between me and my computer, me and the coroner, me and the funeral director, myself and the funeral director, but I would never share it. Never. And as I said, the autopsy report should have been enough. If you can't learn from that, there's something wrong. Moving and grooving, love. Good on you on the mic. Glad you're moving and grooving. I'm moving. I'd like to be grooving. Like to be on here a bit more, which I'm hoping I will be. I want to, just a bit off topic here. I want to do a live probably over the next week about DV or any abuse, self-esteem versus self-worth. It's not what it's cracked up to be. The moving and grooving is not what it's cracked up to be. Is that what you're talking about? Hope that's what you're talking about. Yeah, so I would like to do just a wellness check with everybody, because these cases can overload us all. But I'd like to do a live about like I said, self-esteem versus self-worth, how to build your self-worth. Oh, thank you. Yes, please don't forget to like. Oh, look, more people have come. Yes, Lisa, you know, it just depends what you're moving on, grooving. Good point. I'm hoping to move and groove on my horse this Sunday. I haven't been riding for the last 5 months now, and my poor horse is feeling it. Thank you, Red, for being here. Pokey Madoodle, welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your. So, what do you think about that? Would you be interested in a wellness live about self-esteem and self-worth? And of course, domestic violence. And I'll say the full word because it breaks my heart to have to abbreviate it. I don't care. And how to build your self-worth. And I'll explain all that. Would you be interested in that? Of Lisa, I could never get on a horse. They're not on the mic. I am a petrol head. I like fast cars. I like a good V8. Old school I am. Love motorbikes, but I love my horse too. Love riding them. It is my peace time. It's where I do most of my thinking. Yes, so I'm a petrol head too, and I work on cars too. Jack of all trades. There is a petition for. Okay. There should be change. Especially when it. I mean, it would have been bad enough if it was an adult. But a child. And she has a child herself. I just don't get it. Fast cars are up my alley, but I'd have to say it wouldn't take a real pretty woman to get me on a horse. It would take a. I understand that, Mike. I've been riding horses since I was 3. Done showing, broken them in. Now just do it mostly pleasure and thinking about going back to showing, doing dressage. But yes, like you, I love my fast cars. I have a lead foot myself. Been on the track myself. But we all need our hobbies, so things don't weigh us down. I'm going to do a video about that. I don't know if you saw my community post about Kashawn, who's missing, has been missing for since June. I want to do a video about him. And then you look up in the Cleveland area, and which I'm looking into now, in May, 27 children went missing in 2 weeks from Cleveland, which I'm going to look into. kind of mind-blowing. There is a lot of outrage in what happened to Gannon, and it's as if we all felt the same thing. I agree, Daisy, 100%. Oh, please do, Mike. Would love that. And yes, Daisy, I pray to God that, yep, Gannon's law all the way. I would have thought they would have automatically been sealed, being the fact that it was a minor, but I don't know your laws over there. And after listening to Mystery Maven, apparently it differs from state to state. Oh, yeah, I believe that too, Daisy. After this, have to. Have to. What would even make you the case is over? That's what I don't understand. Case is over. She's gone. He's now in his place of rest. All you needed to do was watch the court case. You would have learnt everything from the court case. I just don't know what you get out of going over something. You can't change the outcome of it. That time could have been spent getting, like, Sean's case out there, or thousands of other missing children, missing people. Could have all been put out there. Thank you on the mic. Take care, sweetheart. Love and light to you and your family. And I hope to see you soon. Yeah, you're right, Red. It is. That's what I said earlier. I noticed the theme with not all creators, but some, that once they get a big following and they start making money, common sense goes out the window. Their integrity seems to go out the window. There's no thought or common sense to what they do or say. I noticed that the bigger people get, not all of them, and I'm going to keep saying that it's not all of them, but I have seen it with a few of them, they shift. Their values and the way they ran their channel prior to getting heaps of subscribers dramatically changes. Dramatically. You know, people that say they're for victims that will be abusive and yell and scream at somebody that says something different to what they agree with, they'll abuse, or they'll call them out and make a joke out of them. Well, I'm sorry, which part of you say you're for victims? Which part of you says that you're open? Because unless you were personally involved in the case and you were there, you don't know who's right, who's wrong. You don't know who's guilty, who's not. So what are you doing? We all learn from each other. Yeah, I know, Daisy, she was. And that's what that's what makes this worse, is she keeps digging herself deeper. Oh, wow, really? See, she could have sat there and watched that in private. I went over parts of it again, like while I was watching it, in the time that it wasn't on, because it was on at night here, of course. Your daytime, my night. And then I would re-watch bits of it to fully understand what they were doing and were saying. You do that in private. Yeah, Daisy, it is between her and God. Unfortunately, that part between her and God sadly has once again affected this poor family that's been through hell and back. It's also affected all of us that did watch that court hearing, that have followed this case. Not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing us to the parents in no way, shape, or form. Trust me. But it did affect us. Nearly all of us fell in love with Gannon as much as we fell in love with Summer or any child that goes missing. We take it personally because we're mothers, we're parents, we're fathers, we're aunties, we're uncles, we're grandparents. And that's why I've been saying, like I said before I started with my channel, was that we all need to raise the bar. We all need to hold ourselves accountable, regardless of how many subscribers you have. Treat everybody with dignity and respect. Remember the people behind. You mightn't be able to see them, but you're all human just like I am. You all bleed like I bleed. You all hurt like I hurt. You have all been through things in life like I have been through things in life. I learn just as much from you guys as what I learn, as what you possibly learn from me. But that's how we all gain insight, is by sharing our different opinions. But if you can't run a channel and have your subscribers comment and say, look, I don't think it happened like this, I think it happened like this, or I don't agree with what you're saying, and then you go on the attack, or you put their message up on your screen and say, look, everybody, look what this so and so says. What does that say about you? I wonder if you would treat somebody face to face like that. I, as a person, couldn't do that. And yes, I have been treated like that on here. Doesn't matter who by, but I have been treated like that on here a few times way back when, to the point that I actually stopped. Mind you, this happened, like I said, way back when I first started watching YouTube, and I happened to decide, yeah, I'm going to make a comment. And, you know, the first time I spoke, and bam, yes, I was put up there like a circus clown for everybody to go, look what she's saying. The word that I'm absolutely against. But I was attacked, like I said a few times, to the point that I did not comment on YouTube probably for nearly 4 years. And I'm a person that doesn't back down that easy. But I just couldn't be bothered. Yeah, that's the bit that scared me, Daisy. That's the bit that really scared me. How could you not be affected if it was your child or your mother? there just wouldn't be enough people to hold me back if it was my mother, my nephew. I'll speak about the people that have passed in my life. My mother, my father, my nephew, my nana, any one of them who didn't die from a violent crime, I might add. Except for my nephew. Yeah, that's what I believe too. But is she missing the empathy because of money? Or did she never have empathy from the start? Because trust me, YouTube's not forever. And if you're willing to give up your self-worth, which means your morals, your self-respect, your self-love, your empathy, your understanding, and all that to be on here or to make a few extra dollars, there's something wrong. Because once that's gone, what have you got left? You will end up with no self-worth, very little self-esteem, because the two are very different. And not many people liking you. Just not understanding it at all. Yeah, I watched her once during that too and went, no, I'm out. But I did that with a few people during that case too. Including the other big ones that found her when I'm out. Mummy saying it, ban Daisy. You can't ban Daisy. Actually, come to think of it, I have no mods in here. You cannot ban Daisy. That's not nice. Hang on a sec. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. Okay. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, one. Daisy Hun. I'm going to make you moderator too, love, if you don't mind. Did that work? Oh, let's go to live chat. Nope. You two should now be mods, guys. Oh, where am I going? Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Can you two see if you're mods? Oh, yes, you are. There you are. After that. Okay, you are modded. Daisy, it's fine. It's fine, sweetheart. I'm going to leave you as a mod anyway. You're not obligated to be here all the time. Just, you are usually the first person I see most of the time. You too, Red. You're welcome. That's right, so you can't cancel each other out. Are you talking about us, Daisy? We connect? Yes, I believe that. I believe I've been honoured with a few ladies like that where I've connected with them. And I've seen a few ladies and men, I must say, like I said before, that will go into channels and be made a joke of. That's right, 100% Daisy. I have always and will always be that person, as much as my children, who also do it, but will used to get on my back and say, Mum, you've got to stop stopping for strangers and helping them, especially at night. You don't know who they are. Well, the day I'm scared to stop and help somebody is the day I no longer want to go out of my home. I have been that person. No, I can't change how I wired. I won't change my integrity. I won't change who I am. What you see on here is what you get. I'm no different on here as what I am to off here. Red, behave yourself. But, you know, no matter how big I get or how small I stay, like I said, people will not get away with coming up on my panel swearing or abusing or belittling somebody for a comment or outright saying, no, I'm right, you're wrong. It happened this way, 100%. They will not victimize anybody. I will stand behind the people that are here with me, which are all you guys. It's like I said, this is not my channel, it's all of ours. We all should be able to speak freely here, give our opinions. And that's how it should be. Don't listen to him. Don't, you're not going to be banned, Pokey. I won't allow it. Yep. It doesn't take much to care about one another. We're supposed to be living in a different world now, you know, where everybody's accepted regardless of who you are, what you do, your sexual preference, so on and so forth. But yet there seems to be so much hurt, anger, and hate that I see. Seems to be people pulling people down for no reason. Like, yes, call them out for the wrong things, but don't be somebody that sits on your channel and tells everybody how great you are and how wrong everybody, all these other people are, or how bad this channel is. Like, you somehow control everybody or what they watch. Who we watch and what we do is entirely up to us. We're all adults. I don't need to tell you, don't watch over here. I will call this one out because I disagreed with it. It upset me like it did everybody else. Do I want people to go over there and abuse it? No. And I don't. And I'll state this now. Nobody go over there and be abusive towards this lady. In no way, shape, or form. I do not condone that, and I never will. And 100% right, Daisy, there is no need for it. Two wrongs do not make a right. If that was the case, think of everybody that was against this would have all ran over there and done that. I don't want to be somebody that pushes somebody over the edge. You don't know where people are in their lives or what they're going through, what's happening behind the scenes with them. And I'll state this from a person that lost a nephew over different things. Don't be the one person or part of the people that manages to push a person over the edge, because it might be just your last wording on somebody, and that includes people in your chat. What you say could be the last thing that pushes them right over the edge, because I've accumulated so much. And just your words alone have done that. I know it's facts, Daisy. Unfortunately, my nephew passed, self-infliction. Unfortunately, people didn't listen. And yet these same people said, oh, I had nothing to do with that. Wasn't because of me. I'm sorry, what? You all played a role in it. With each little thing you all said, you might as well have all stood around in a circle and had him in the middle. The same to anybody that is victimised through bullying and abuse and bashing and belittling, and then the others join in. A bully is only as good as the people that stand behind them clapping, or their audience. Without an audience, they're not bullies. But to have people sit there and say, have a creator pull somebody up and then everybody followed by, let's throwing all this dirt at this person and belittling them. How do you know what they're going through in life? How do you know they're not looking to be on here just for somebody to talk to, somebody to listen to them? Some be on here just to take their mind off of what they're going through, and then you attack them. And trust me, there have been a few that have come close to the edge. One of the creators that doesn't exist on here anymore was good for it, who was female. So it's time we raise the bar. All of us creators, it's time we thought about everybody who was watching us. And for you to belittle somebody says more about you than what it does them. For you to call them any name, opposed to the words of, I'm sorry, I disagree in your theory, which is how adults do it. You're right, Daisy. I was actually embarrassed to be a true crimer after that. And I was thinking very seriously about changing my channel. But then I know in myself and I trust in myself that I would never do anything remotely close to that. And if I did upset anybody or did anything wrong, somebody told me, I would apologize straight away. Even if I said the wrong thing, I would apologize straight away. Trust me, I have no ego. I am who I am. In fact, I get told I apologize too much. That's just who I am. But I think my age has something to do with that. Just bear with me for a sec, guys, as a truck just goes past. But yep, it needs to change. And if they say, mainstream media get this and get that, why don't we? Well, maybe if we changed the way and raised the bar, we'd be taken more seriously. Stop drowning out these crimes with all the white noise of looking for everything and report about every little thing on one thing and not get all the other crimes out there or the other cases out there. Oh yeah, Daisy, been there, done that. But nonetheless, I'm still the person that will help, and I guarantee you're like that too. In fact, I will guarantee that most people in my chat are very much the same. Are the first ones there to lend a hand to help somebody. Even if the somebody is somebody that has hurt them. It's the same as, which is another one that I wanted to bring up, because from time to time, like I said, I would like to do these wellness checks with all of us and focus on different things. Like I said, I want to do this one on self-esteem and self-worth involving DV and abuse and whatnot. But I'd like to do one, like I have so many of them that I would like to share with you all. About forgiveness. and how people can forgive things where other people can't, because there is a difference. And the problem with forgiveness, when somebody says you should forgive them, people take it as you should forgive the person that has done it to you. Forgiveness is about helping yourself and allowing yourself to move on. It's not about the person that's done you wrong or helping them to move on. It is about your own self-worth, your own self-help. There is a big difference in it. And I think that's where people seem to not understand, unfortunately. Because without forgiveness, you won't move past things. It also means about forgiving yourself, because we all hold ourselves accountable for allowing ourselves to be used or to be hurt or to be abused or to be whatever the case may be. We all hold guilt about that. And we don't learn to forgive ourselves. As much as everybody says you have nothing to forgive yourself about, you know it's not your fault. We all wear guilt from these things that happen to us. And forgiving that is the biggest part to allow you to grow from it, to move on from it, to not carry it around with you. It is such a huge relief. And trust me, it has nothing to do with the perpetrator. Dead on. Hey, babes, forever. So wonderful to see you doing the live. Thank you. Have missed you. Have missed you too, sweetheart. Glad you could join us. So, yeah, I would like to, going back to that, wonder what you think about me doing lives where we do wellness checks and cover things like that. What do you think? Because I would like your feedback before I go ahead and do it. Just a break from crime and to touch base with everybody. Whatever you want to cover in that sense, I'm happy. Would you guys like that at all? I don't mean guys as in fellas, by the way. Aussie slang again, sorry. What do you all think about that? Is that something you would all be interested in? Oh, I'm glad, babes. Thank you for saying that. Now you've made my day. You'll know my day. So, yes, you would like me to cover things like that, do lives like that, where you can all have input or message me and tell me what you'd like me to cover, wellness-wise. Like I said, I do have one planned out, which is the domestic violence abuse, etc., self-esteem versus self-worth, how to build that up. And I have touched on that in parts before about looking in the mirror and saying positive things about yourself. As I said, the one person you can't lie to is yourself. The same as I believe that women don't praise women enough. Women tend to pull women down first. Like, oh my God, she's younger and prettier than me. Let me attack her. Let me attack her looks. That just shows me that they have no security in themselves. No confidence in themselves. I would rather be the person to lift the person up. I think women go through enough as it is. But yes, I would enjoy doing them lives for you all, and happy that I want or would like people to come up on panel and join me if they want. You don't have to show your faces or anything else. Good on you, Red. But we all need to be lifted. Thanks for that, Red. That was good. I'll pay you that one. That was good. We all need to understand. We all need to learn how to listen to people too, which is my biggest thing that I learnt actually when I was doing my welfare and counselling course about listening. It is always, and since then it has always stuck in my mind. Hi Jody, how are you, love? Glad to see you too. Thank you for joining us. That's something I learnt. We as people need to do it all around. Yes, we do. Something I learnt was how to listen properly, which I noticed after I did that, went through that part of the course, that people I would speak to in my bad times or in my times of need did exactly what people think that listening is you making a comment or somehow, and us helpers are good for this. Why somebody's telling us something, we're looking at ways to help them, or we're making suggestions to help them. But listening involves just listening. Allow the person to speak freely. Remember what they say. And then at the end of it, when they're quiet and then look at you, you'll know it's time for then your turn to say what it is you need to say, or to give them suggestions of help or support. But lead them in a way that will help them to help themselves. Which is another thing. Support is different from helping somebody. Support is helping. But when you outright tell somebody to go here to get help, sometimes you're not allowing them to make their own choices. You have to give them options. But here's the thing for you all to do if you like. Between now and the time I do my next live, if you happen to be talking to somebody about something, take notice of how that person listens to you. And you'll find that what I'm saying happens more than it should. There's not many people that sit there quietly and nod or acknowledge that you're speaking, as in, which doesn't mean you're dismissing them. You're listening. As they say, listen with your ears, not with your mouth, not with your head. Really listening, listen to them. Hello, beautiful. The nail settle. Hello, Kerry Ann. How you going, love? Nice to have you here. Great to see you. Glad you could join us. So yeah, I would appreciate if you happen to be talking to somebody, or you're listening to somebody who is talking to somebody else, take notice of how they listen. Because it's a great experience once you know. And for anybody that's been to a counsellor and felt like you weren't being listened to because the counsellor was doing exactly what I was just doing. That's because we are listening. We are taking it all in. A counsellor, one should never tell you what to do. They will reflect your words back onto you for you to realise your options. They will also give you options. They won't give you one option. They will give you several options. The idea is to empower the person, not disempower them by saying, you need to go here and do this, or you need to do this to make it right. So sometime during the week I will do, which won't be Sunday because I'm going horse riding Sunday, guys. And I don't want to, I'll be horse riding from early in the morning. So, but I will give you like 24 hours warning notification that we're going to do that live about our first wellness live. Just a break from true crime, and as I'm on here more, I will do this more and eventually like to do a channel about self-help and wellness. Working on that, Red, working on that. It's cold here. I don't know if you can hear the wind behind me. It has been freezing here, and we've had so much rain, it's ridiculous. But yes, it's not a bad idea, actually. a fireplace. No, that's another thing. You never set somebody up to fail. Unfortunately, I see a lot of that. I will do that, guys, a fireplace. Actually, just behind that same wall is a fireplace. But that's a good idea. Oh, it's ridiculously cold here. We got a cold snap that come with all the wind and the rain, and then the power goes out. Of course, so does the internet. Then it comes back on, then it goes out. Yeah, you're right, Red, there is. Yeah, we're getting we were like 6 degrees here, which, yeah, can't tell you in Fahrenheit unless I do it on my phone. But it's cold. I think today is a whole of about 13, if that. It's funny, Daisy, I always have candles going. Always like, it's funny, you might think this is weird, but I always light 3 to 4 candles. And as I light them, I say, I light this in honour of those who have passed before me. I light this in honour of those who have passed, who will pass after me. I light this in honour of the loving light sent from above. And I light these in honour of the angels that protect. It is a religious, not even religious, it is just a repetitious thing that I've always done when I light candles. I'm very spiritual. Yeah, see, I have a tin roof here. I love rain on the roof, on a tin roof. Thank you, Jody. I appreciate that, love. Truly appreciate that. Oh, thank you, Kerry Ann. That's lovely. Very lovely of you. I've been doing that for years. I believe lighting a candle for anything is very spiritual. We light candles for birthdays. So, yep, I light them in honour of all those before us. We're all blessed in one way or another. Whether you believe in God or whatever you believe in, we're all blessed. Even when things are bad, you have to see the positive side to it. You have to find something to grab hold of to pull yourself out of that. Even under the worst of circumstances. It's what I love about being here. I find that Every person that is in my chat is one of them people. The people that are looking or going through a hard time, that need a hand. There's a million hands in my chat that are put out for them. And that was proven in the last slide that I did for somebody. And I thank you all for that. 100% all. Like I said, I have been picked on that. I will be talking about something and then notice somebody says something in my chat and I'll divert. Absolutely. I can get back to what's on my screen. The person in my chat, I don't want them to leave. They said it for a reason. And their reason is they're in need now. Not wait until I finish and then I'll get back to you. No worries. You're more than welcome. %. Help with you've lost me now, Kerry Ann. If you got here late, I was only talking about Sav Girl at first, about that. And once again, I will say this. I don't condone anybody to go over there and abuse her, belittle her, or get on her channel and make any problem in any way, shape, or form. Please don't do that. Please don't leave nasty comments or hateful comments. Not that I believe any of you people will. But I'll say this to anybody that's watching or is going to watch this later on. Please do not do that. It does not help in any way, shape, or form. It is not right to do that. Then I was just talking about doing wellness lives, Kerry Ann, just about keeping in touch with each other about mental health and about going through things like forgiveness and self-esteem and self-worth and domestic violence, etc., because there are people that don't know what comes under the heading of domestic violence, what abuse is still. No, that's all right. Don't apologise, hon. That's fine. You're fine. Please don't apologise. Jodie's lost too. Sorry, Jodie. Do you want me to say what I said, Kerry, Jody, just briefly for you, so you understand, so you're not lost anymore? Will that help you? I'm happy to do so, love. Okay, so this stream was about what Sav Girl did with the autopsy photos of Gannon. How I don't stand for that YouTubers need to raise the bar, that we are obligated and have a duty of care to our listeners, our subscribers, to anybody that watches us, to the victims of the crimes, any crime, whether it's a crime we cover or we don't cover. We have a duty of care to everybody, to how we treat people. We teach people how to treat people. On top of that, you don't know what the people are going through or where they're at in their life when they're watching you. So belittling or making a joke out of somebody for having a different opinion of you, I don't agree with. I think you don't know where that person is. You could solely, just for that remark, push them over the edge. And then I said that I wanted to do a wellness lives, not all the time. I'll still want to do the crime, but wellness lives where we discuss, like the first one that I have already lined up and looked at doing was where I cover domestic violence, explaining what domestic violence is, including abuse, etc., etc., and then go into self-esteem versus self-worth, how to build your self-worth, etc., etc., as well as about forgiveness, what forgiveness actually is. And it's, as I explained briefly, it's not about the person that's perpetrated you in any way. Forgiveness is about yourself and about healing yourself. It's not about helping them to move on. It's about helping yourself. No, I don't agree with it either. Very few people agree with it. Let's pray for Gannon's law. In fact, we are all outraged by it. Like I said, how can you stand up and say you're for victims, especially child victims, and then do that? The two don't go together. But we as YouTubers, people of influence, need to remember we do have a duty of care to each and every one of you guys, to anybody that listens to us after it. We don't know what people are going through. We don't know what people are capable of. The same as the channels that hate on other channels. You don't know that somebody in your chat is in the right frame of mind at that point that won't go and do something against that person when things get taken real life. Learn people, and you'll constantly hear all of them say, let's agree, let's be adult about this. Well, be adult enough to learn to agree to disagree. And remember, unless you were involved in a crime specifically, you were there, you don't know if you were right as much as the person you want to put down is right. And people will never learn by you belittling them. Then they get to a point where they're too scared to ask questions. We need to change it. We need to raise the bar for ourselves and for you guys. Oh, there I did it again. Aussie saying for all of you. I apologise for that. And you're right, Daisy, self-love is a must. Always. First of all. I have. I certainly have, Jody. I've heard about it. I know he's over where he is. My heart goes out to him. But in saying that, like I said, a duty of care to the people you're talking to. Don't abuse the people in your chat. Don't belittle them. Don't say you're for survivors and then yell and scream and call another woman names when you have survivors in your chat that you may trigger. And that's not aimed at Doug. However, he has done that. He did apologise for it. But he has his faults. I mean, this tug of war on YouTube is ridiculous. You know, I'm better than you, I'm bigger than you, I'm more right than you. Well, congratulations. If that's what gets you through the day, then and makes you feel good, I'm glad I could do that for you. It is pretty simple, isn't it, Kerry Ann? Absolutely. He's lost his channel, Daisy. Excuse me, guys. I'm recovering from a cold. We do all have our faults. We all go through stuff, but that doesn't give you the right to jump up on your channel and take it out on everybody, or just pick a person that you feel like attacking at that point. Okay, sorry, Daisy. If you're standing for something, you can't say, I stand for this, but I'm doing this. I stand for survivors. I am a survivor myself. But I am not going to sit here and say that and then have everybody in my chat listen to me yell and scream at somebody in a belittling, undignified manner. Not knowing or not even thinking that maybe, just maybe, people that have been through DV or that are now triggered by what I'm doing. You can't say one thing but do another. Like I said, regardless of whether I have 200, 2,000, 2 million subscribers, my integrity should never change. Who I am should never change. And if I do something wrong, I want you guys to call me out for it. Because if you can't take criticism yourself on here, then you shouldn't be on here. constructive criticism. If you can't handle somebody saying, hey, Lise, you did the wrong thing, you said the wrong thing about me and it hurt me, then there's something wrong. Yeah, you're right, Kerry Ann. Integrity is everything. Unfortunately, money seems to change people, or the fame that I don't know what it is, but they seem to change who they are or what they stand for afterwards. My rules will stay the same. If you abuse anybody on this in my chat or have a go at them for them having a different opinion, you'll be warned. If you swear or are abusive, you'll be given one warning. If you come up on my panel, don't expect to sit there and swear and get away with it. I don't mind it slipping out or it being dropped every now and then, but if you're going to say it every second, third word, then no, I'm not going to stand for it. Sorry. If you were in my house, I wouldn't put up with it. If you were talking to me, I would say something to you. That's not going to change. I don't think less of people that do swear, don't get me wrong. But I'm a person that doesn't like it. I don't do it myself a great deal. I'll drop it every now and then. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll drop it every now and then. But the first thing I do is apologise if I do it around a person. Because that says more about me than the person I'm talking to. And if you're talking to somebody and you're swearing to me, that's as good as swearing at the person you're talking to, because there's nobody else there. And trust me, when I was younger, yes, I did swear. I swore quite a lot, actually. Not proud of it. Not proud of the person I was. But I love myself too much now to be that person again. I do have self-respect. I do have self-worth. I do love myself enough not to swear. I know I'm educated enough to find other words to use. I have self-belief. Thanks, Jody. Yep, money is the root of all evil, unfortunately. Not to everybody. I'm not going to say to everybody. I really don't know what it is. I think it's a combination of both. They get caught up in the whirlwind of, wow, look how quick my channel grew, and look at how many people believe in what I'm saying, and look how many people are giving me money, look how much I'm making compared to what I was living like, and then it kind of goes to their head. And somehow, some way, they lose their integrity and their self-worth, sadly. But like I said, at the end of the day, after YouTube's gone, what do you got left? What are you left with? The one thing you give up for it, which I will not do. Can I just say one thing to that, Kerry-Ann? And please don't take this the wrong way. It's just advice. If you think about this. What is the first thing you do when somebody's yelling at you and swearing? Or what's the first thing a child does when somebody's yelling at them? I can tell you what it is. They shut down. Even as adults, the minute somebody's abusing us, we shut down. So everything you're saying after that, I can guarantee you are not hearing the word you're saying. Your point is no longer getting across. They have shut down, closed it off. If you talk and talk with meaning, compassion, you will be heard. That I have learnt. Oh, you're talking about swearing about them? This is not you actually engaging with them? I'm sorry, then I took that the wrong way. I do apologise. But here's another way for that too. Nobody should ever have that much control over you to allow you to get to that point. I won't ever give anybody that much control over me ever again. I had that in a relationship. We'll never do it again. Even in an argument with somebody, something that upsets me, I will never hand over that much control to somebody that they can get me livid. Okay, sorry, I do apologise for that. I'm very sorry, Kerry-Ann, I did take that the wrong way. And you're right, it is totally your choice. Like I said, please don't take that the wrong way. I wasn't having a go at you. That's advice for everybody. That the minute somebody gets you that fired up, you've handed over your control because now they are controlling you. You have lost. You've lost that argument to start with. But yes, once again, Kerry-Ann, I am very sorry. I did take that the wrong way. I read that the wrong way. I do sincerely apologise to you, love. So anyway, guys, I will give you, like I said, 24 hours notice before the next live, my wellness one. Prior to that, I will be doing a couple of videos about it. One about Kayshawn and one about girl Cheyenne. Cheyenne Lee. That is been missing for over 2 months now in Tasmania. No, there's a saying to that, Kerry-Ann, you can't put it where there isn't room, honey. That's how I can not get angry. Sometimes you look at people and you know it's not worth the argument. Can't put it where there isn't room. Yeah, so I'm going to do videos on them too, missing people. I'm surprised because Sean hasn't been covered more on YouTube, actually. I'm also going to look into the 27 children that went missing from Cleveland in 2 weeks. A space of 2 weeks, that's a lot of missing people. But I will look into that and do a video on that, or a live, whichever. But the wellness live, I will let you know at least a day before that I'm going to do it, and put it up for you guys to be ready. All of you to be ready. I did it again. Aussie slanging. I apologise to you. I know. Please understand. I mean no disrespect towards any of you saying that. Thank you all for joining me. I do appreciate it. Like I said, please, nobody be abusive towards Sav Girl. I do wish her all the best. I hope she changes her ways. I hope she learns from this. And I hope that all other YouTubers learn from this. And we do better. And we raise the bar. I love each and every one of you all. Please hit the like button for me. Remember, you're all beautiful, special, outstanding people. I love each and every one of you all. You always make me feel good. I love talking to you all. I love taking the time with each and every one of you. So, until then, see you all soon again. And thanks, guys, for being here once again. Remember to be kind to each other, especially yourselves. Please. You should always come first. All right, guys. See you soon.